Do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson?
That's correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes.
BlakeLively just experienced a courtroom reckoning that could redefine her entire public legacy. On June 6, 2025, Judge Miriam Calloway delivered a verdict so severe, so sweeping, that it left the actress visibly shaken in her seat, eyes lowered, lips pursed, and notably silent for perhaps the first time in her high-profile career. The ruling didn't just include multi-million-dollar penalties, it came with the shadow of federal investigation looming heavily in the background. The case in question? Carly Benson versus BlakeLively and Preserve Incorporated, a lawsuit that began with what seemed like a civil employment dispute but quickly escalated into a national scandal. The complaint centered around allegations of workplace abuse, calculated evidence suppression, and a coordinated campaign to silence a former assistant. As more details emerged, the lawsuit unraveled a web of alleged deception that extended beyond HR policies and into criminal territory. Judge Calloway didn't mince words. She labeled Lively's actions as a deliberate deception masquerading as mismanagement, a harsh rebuke that stunned the courtroom. The final judgment was staggering. Over $8 million in damages awarded to Benson for emotional, psychological, and physical trauma, along with $4 million in punitive fines, and a criminal referral for obstruction of justice to federal authorities. The moment that turned the tide in the trial? A brief but damning piece of security footage, a mere 42-second clip, showing Lively in a heated confrontation with Benson, reportedly during a disagreement over a product launch mishap. In the video, Lively appears to throw a wine glass in frustration, which Benson alleges left her physically injured. The footage was authenticated by forensic experts and supported by witness statements, despite Lively's legal team's repeated claims that the video had been manipulated. The court, however, ruled it as legitimate and damaging. As the verdict echoed through the courtroom, public reaction was swift and intense. Social media erupted with hashtags like #Glassgate and #PreserveNoMore, and stock for Preserve Incorporated and associated brands began to nosedive within hours. Lively, once hailed as the face of aspirational modern womanhood, found herself suddenly cast as a cautionary tale of unchecked celebrity power. But it was Carly Benson's voice that cut through the noise. In emotional, detailed testimony, she described the event as the culmination of years of emotional exhaustion and systemic neglect. She spoke of physical pain and deep psychological scars. When she was injured, it wasn't an executive, manager, or even Lively herself who helped her. It was unpaid interns who rushed her to a nearby urgent care center. Her resignation letter, entered into evidence, painted a picture of an environment fueled by fear and powered by silence. Then came the most explosive allegation, that Benson's medical records had been altered. The court found credible evidence suggesting that a third-party contractor affiliated with Lively's crisis management team accessed hospital records and intentionally removed Benson's name from her ER report. This, Judge Calloway noted, constituted not only a violation of medical privacy but a coordinated attempt to hide evidence. That act alone resulted in the obstruction referral. Financial audits revealed more questions. A consulting firm named CB Holdings had received thousands in untraceable payments, coincidentally founded shortly after the incident, and bearing Benson's initials. But when questioned, Benson said she had no knowledge of the company. The audit found no evidence of services rendered, no client list, and no official records, only a string of shell accounts tied to Preserve Incorporated's legal and crisis teams. Text messages between Lively and senior staff painted a chilling picture of calculated spin. One internal message read, "We control the narrative before anyone defines it for us." Others referenced legal strategies to silence potential whistleblowers and discredit former employees. In one message that drew audible gasps in court, a PR executive wrote, "We have her psych history, leak if necessary." Perhaps the most surprising turn came during testimony from Jennifer Ull, the former head of Lively's crisis communications agency. Under oath, she revealed that Lively personally approved messaging strategies designed to discredit employees, block internal complaints, and manipulate public perception. Emails and strategy documents backed up her claims. Even Ryan Reynolds, Lively's husband, found himself pulled into the controversy. A text from Lively to Reynolds after the alleged wine glass incident read, "Handled it, PR will keep ER stuff buried." While he hasn't been formally charged or named in any civil actions, legal experts speculate he could face questions during the federal phase of the case. In the meantime, multiple joint endorsements and advertising deals have been paused indefinitely, and Reynolds' upcoming animated film, Animal Friends, has been delayed until at least mid-2026. The silence from their longtime friend Taylor Swift has also raised eyebrows. Once a vocal supporter of Lively's ventures, Swift has offered no public comment, no reposts, and no messages of support, marking a notable break in their long-standing friendship. Lively's team issued a brief statement following the verdict, denying all charges and announcing plans to appeal. But the damage may already be done. The carefully curated image of Blake Lively, the smiling entrepreneur, mother, and actress, has cracked. Meanwhile, Carly Benson has emerged as a symbol of resistance. She launched a non-profit initiative, Restore and Rise, aimed at providing legal aid and mental health services to victims of workplace abuse. The organization raised over $1.3 million in donations within 48 hours, backed by a groundswell of grassroots support and endorsements from labor advocates and women's rights groups. Judge Calloway closed the proceedings with words that now echo across headlines: "Accountability isn't optional just because you're famous. In this court, image is not a shield. Truth is." As the legal dust settles, one thing is clear. The scandal has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, branding agencies, and celebrity circles alike. What began as a private HR complaint has become a national reckoning, and the story of Blake Lively's fall from grace is far from over.